Hello and welcome to the Loose Butthole Reviews. I am your host Smokey, and joining with me as always is my co-host Spooge.
Oh,
And before we get into it, we always have to give our three rules. First rule is our rating has to be a 5 out of 5, 1 being we hate it, 5 being we love it. Number 2 is we can only give a Jeff Goldblum if the film makes us want our money back. And number
hmm
3, we can only give a God tier a 6 out of 5 if we both agree that it's a 6 out of 5, that it deserves the God tier.
hmm
And today we are reviewing Yongary, Monster from the Deep from South Korea.
yes, kind of
Continuing Kaiju month.
and continuing kind of picking some of the outliers, and I this was one of my choices because we did Pulgasari last year from North
Yes.
Korea.
Yes. And Pogasari, way better than this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like so much better.
No question.
Before we get into it, I'm giving this a solid 1 out of 5.
And I'm giving it a solid 2 out of 5.
Did you like this a little more than I did, apparently?
Yeah, I can respect some of the destruction. I can respect it was about like a medium level kaiju suit, especially for the time. I'd say he'd be like he reminds me of a Gamera villain.
Kind of. I don't know. Me being the kaiju nut that I am, this film just seemed too formulaic, if that makes sense.
Yeah. hmm
And they, let's face it, they are trying. This is a blatant like trying to rip off fucking Godzilla.
Yeah,
there's
that's
no
kind of the
doubt about
story of
it.
this
And
is that they wanted their own
I will
Godzilla.
have to say I only liked one scene in this whole thing, and this scene can literally be a GIF.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
but I definitely won't say that I like this. I mean, two out of 5 is
a dislike.
still
Yeah,
really
I
low.
hated this. I hated this.
Mhm.
I am glad to. I can say that. I
This was very much a definitely not gonna watch that again, but okay. I mean that was a kaiju film. I probably had a little bit. I don't know. There's I mean there's a couple little things just kind of out of it. They get you out of nowhere. I mean, your favorite scene, of course. It's kind of like
yeah.
that was an interesting choice. And then and I'll have to give him just the kid dance that scene with the kid dancing with it.
Oh, that I did not like that at all. That scene was it
It's
was
just
just
out
too
of
weak.
nowhere because this was established like it's like fucking like killing people mindlessly, and then it just has like a little dance with the kid, which I think it's supposed to be implied that he's itchy, but but yeah, it's just it spent a little time on it, and it was just kind of like I don't know, it was really kind of just the look of it was kind of surreal.
Oh god.
Oh, also, just like there's some good laughs, like the fucking that fucking car crash when there's like nothing that was actually making them crash. They're just like driving along the road and then just went like, oh no! And then just the toy car just bursting into flames and exploding. Or all the people like fucking Three Stooge running after their car gets chopped in half, which that was actually a decent effect.
Yeah, I
That's why I have to give this like a 2. Like there's some good ideas in this, but
that
I
that
mean there's still nothing special,
that's
you
what
know.
takes it away for me is the good ideas is surrounded by nothing but to get to the good ideas you have to go through so much bullshit that's just not
Mhm.
warranted. You can definitely look up the best scenes on YouTube, and that's very little.
Yeah, but I feel like I don't know, like how I would grade a 1 would be something that I definitely would never just like even look up the scenes too, because it'd just be so boring and unmemorable. But I think this has some scenes that there's something there. This maybe could have been something special, maybe. Uh, but I mean, it is just by the numbers. I mean, they have like oh, Godzilla has kind of like a subversive political message, so we'll kind of do sort of an anti-oil one, but we kind of lose we mention it once and then we totally forget about that being any
Yeah,
type
that
of a
we do
point.
that for like a little tiny bit, and then we just move on to the ammonia
Though
being
honestly, I'm glad that they didn't,
the
because I mean
secret
they weren't
weapon.
really handling, they weren't like doing it intelligently anyway, so it's kind of good that they just abandoned that anyway.
Yeah, I kind of understand that, but oh man, do I feel like I
But
wasted my time watching this? Like it almost, if it wasn't
it's
for
a
my
it
favorite
is an
scene,
hour and 13 minutes too, so it's not
and
that long, but it did feel really long,
it felt
especially the
like it
first
was 3 hours
part.
long, man. I
Yeah,
it felt
especially the
like it
first half.
dragged. The first half has no connection to the rest of the film either. It's kind of to introduce the characters, but they do that very poorly.
I guess I don't know. Am I am I being racist here? Was the characters that they introduced before not the main characters? Because those characters definitely got married.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Oh shit, no. I am racist because that was the kid's older sister apparently, right?
But
Because
he,
of what
but
the
he,
because of
but
the
but
Icho. Because but the main
Icho.
character is the dude that was like, "Hey, don't do that to your sister and uh her new husband." And he's like, "Oh, but I like causing pain." And he's like, "Okay, that makes sense. It's pretty funny." But you still probably shouldn't do it because, like, I don't know what that fucking shit's gonna do to them long term.
I
Yeah, yeah, I was mistaken.
okay,
I was
okay.
mistaken. They had the same haircut.
Because I was confused. I was just as confused by you, but I was just thinking, oh, they must have literally just forgot. Because I wouldn't put it
Damn,
behind
I'm
them
usually
because
pretty good about uh,
they forget
following
almost
characters.
they forget almost about every little detail that they add. They almost forget that they even add it.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, everything's real pointless. I would have given this film a 2.5 if they. I thought I don't know if I would have though because it would have been copying too because it felt like honestly they kind of had they had no balls because I feel like they're about to try to emulate the scene from Godzilla when the mother and her child gets crushed,
Oh,
under the
you mean when
building.
they get? I thought you. There's also a scene where they. Isn't there also a scene where mother and child get like roasted by the fire?
Uh, I don't remember that. I remember them
I could
being
be
crushed under
thinking
a
of a
building,
different one. I could
but
be thinking of a different film, but I could have swore like they get fucking blasted by his atomic breath.
I've seen that in I've seen that in an anime about us nuking them, but that's the image I'm getting of like the woman and the baby and like they're like fucking skin melting and then blasting off. Um, but for I think they didn't go that hard in the first Godzilla, but they just had them crushed under a building, implied that they were crushed under a building. They're still they didn't have them like melting. You don't have that at that time yet. That would have they would have talked about that more. That movie
I
would.
could have swore there was like an effect to where there was like the that it showed the people the mother and
Hmm.
the lady, and then it
I'm
was
gonna
like a
have to look
quick
this up because I
flash,
could
and
have
then there was
forgot
like
that.
a shadow, like a little shadow where they was, implying they got roasted. I could be wrong about this though. Could be remembering from
I don't remember that.
my
Either way, there was a kid. There was a kid and a mother that
let.
died in Godzilla. And why I think they were copying it is because I remember that scene from the building coming down, and they almost had her in the same pose, picking it, but she's picking up the baby. I thought they were gonna have buildings coming down. So I don't know if I would have actually gave it anything for that because it would have, even if they did have the balls to kill the mother and child, it would have just been copying, like straight up.
Yeah, I don't know how I would felt by about that either,
I mean, I
but
guess I would have had to give it
it
a
would have
meme
made the
point of
film
just
better.
Yeah,
It would have
yeah.
made
You
damn
know,
film
I
better.
would have gave it a 2.5 if they killed the kid.
Eh,
You know what? That's just a rule. You get a point 5 if you kill if you kill a
yeah.
baby. Kill a kid or a baby. No, teenagers don't count though.
No, no, of course not, because teenagers can be about the whole fucking film.
Hmm. Exactly. They gotta be 12 and under
Yeah.
if they get the point to die.
Uh, but yeah, there's not much I really I want to talk about. There is no soundtrack. There was this
There is.
weird, yeah, what, the Morse code?
It's the same. No, it's not just the Morse codes. There's the same bum 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 bum. The
Oh
same thing that's
yeah,
played
and
over and over
there
and
was
over and
that
over
weird
again.
and because I don't know why, but there was that weird fucking tune they kept playing that for some reason I kept hearing anal leakage out of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had that one. Then they had like that surf rock play all of a sudden when they were doing the
Oh,
dance.
doing the dance. Yeah, well, see, the soundtrack is forgettable. I can say that. It's very fucking
I remembered
forgettable.
it. Young
You're
game.
you're more of a music nut than I am. I do not put it behind you.
I remember all those tasty fucking jams, those fucking tasty rhymes from Young Gary's mixtape. But
Anything but young Gary.
I didn't hate the monster design though, but he did feel like an Ultraman villain. Like
Uh,
a, you know what I
it
mean?
was too basic for me. You know?
Yeah, yeah, it's very basic, but that's why I'm saying he's very much like an Ultraman villain because that's why
Yeah,
they
he can
use the
definitely
basic designs
disappear.
because like he's good, but he'd like come back in like the beat up suit, like something that's easy to patch up, but like they don't care about like tearing up too. You know, you're probably gonna get like the one that you get like the best action out of that.
If I'm not
But
mistaken, they eventually
oh,
go to CGI
I
on
have to,
these.
I gotta, I gotta, I gotta point out a scene that maybe also cracked up because it was actually right before a really decent scene of them chopping the car in half. Though they kind of ruin it with the guys running away like there's Three Stooges going like get good, wow, wow. But it was like all of a sudden, young Gary like has a green screen behind him and has like the car under him, and it makes him like only like maybe like 15 or 20 feet all
No,
of a sudden.
they fucking that I know what effect you're talking about, the effect where they literally just took one negative and laid it over another
Yeah.
negative, but they didn't color the first negative. They just laid it over the fucking black and white negative.
Yeah, it was just really jarring it out of nowhere. And I don't know why they even put it in because it gave no context to anything.
Because his foot was supposed to be stepping on the car.
But then he lasered it. Oh,
Oh my god!
because he lasered one of the cars in half. Maybe he stepped on another car.
Yeah, maybe
I don't
that
know. There's
maybe
not a
they were
lot of.
both.
They kind of just shoved that scene in all of a sudden.
Yeah, yeah. I thought
I,
he was supposed to step on the car. That I thought that's what the whole deal was.
well, if there's any scenes that you could edit in, it would be the anal leakage and then that.
Oh
That's all
shit.
we really need.
To be honest, the Ada leakage was probably going to be the opener, or the is probably the opener or the closer of this. I haven't
It
decided
wouldn't.
yet.
I feel like if the anal leakage is to be the opener, then you have to end it with the dancing, or you open it with the dancing and end with the anal leakage.
I like that one better. That's what's happened here.
Alrighty,
If
yeah,
you
yeah.
watch this, that's what happened. Yay!
That's what
Spoiler
happened.
alert for what happened. What's happening
This is a little
after this?
behind the scenes.
But
A little.
yeah.
Why were they going into space? Like he was from the deep. He was from the deep of the earth. And they have the astronaut be like the main guy. What's the fucking astronaut gonna do? It's just because he knew some chemistry. And he didn't even figure that out. The kid
He
was
just
just
put
like,
in.
there's
He
something in
just
there, and they're
dropped
like,
in
oh,
mode.
there's ammonia in there. Like you didn't really need a chemist to figure that out. You just needed to know what was in the oil. You could like someone who worked in the industry, or like if you could just someone who could pull up that information. I don't know.
I
Like what was the whole point of this first part of this movie?
there was no there was not a single
I
fucking
thought they were gonna like do something to anger him from. I was like at first I'm like, is he the monster from the deep space? But no, honestly I thought he was gonna come out of the ocean, but then he came out of the fucking ground.
I have no fucking clue, dude. I they like I said, this
Yeah,
there's no reason to watch this film.
yeah. Unfortunately, South Korea, you got to get a better kaiju, uh, or else Pulgasari is gonna come up and kick your shit in. That's just the facts. I mean, like, Pulgasari is the superior kaiju.
Oh yeah, far superior. That actually has a decent story.
Yeah, yeah. What did we rate Pulgasari? Did we give it a 3.5 or did we give it a
Um,
4?
I think we gave Pulgasari a 4, if anything.
Huh.
I I can check right now if you would just not let there be any airtime.
Oh, I got you. I got you. Fucking
Pulgas.
there
I
you
got
go.
this. I got this. Pulgasari. Yeah, we gave it a 4. We did give Pulgasari a 4.
Okay, yeah, just because of the history of that too. Hard to beat
Yeah,
the whole history and the whole making of that too.
that
I
that,
mean,
that
it's a wild ride all the way through.
yeah. Then this is just like a fart in the wind.
Yeah, it is very much a. Oh, but they did. I will say that there is a sequel to this.
Oh, there's more than a
Um,
sequel. There is more than a sequel.
because they kind of bring him back and give him a redesign and make him like a hero.
And
They
there's
kind
a
of
the CGI it, yeah.
yeah, which is probably even a worse watch than this one. I mean, at least with
Which
this one, you get the suit, you get
yeah,
that's why I couldn't give this like a 1 because it was still like they still had the basics, they still had a guy in a fun suit breaking a pretty fun set.
yeah.
Like it was real basic, that's why it's a 2.
I'm a
But
kaiju. I can kind of tell I'm more of a kaiju. I know you're a kaiju purist, but I can tell I'm a bit more of the toxic kaiju purist. Cause
yeah, I mean
this
you're with the fact that you're calling me a lesser kaiju fan. This is a pretty
yeah.
good indicator. But honestly, I had the same amount of I was entertained the same amount with this one as I was with Godzilla Raids Again, honestly. I
I'm
mean,
more entertained with Godzilla Raids Again by
I think they
far.
were both kind of I think they were
I
both kind of boring.
I will watch Godzilla Raids Again over this any day.
Because
I will
honestly, the
wa-
only thing that kept me from giving Godzilla Raids Again a 2 was the fact that Godzilla and those angers is like first appearance, and that was really the only thing that really separates it from this one, honestly.
All right, well,
That bringing it, yeah, bringing it to there.
yeah. Well, like I
I'm
said,
going there.
well, it still tracks because I rated Godzilla higher than you, and it's because I
Mhm,
would definitely watch Godzilla Raids Again over this any fucking day of the week.
mhm.
To be honest, if someone wants to put this on, eh, I guess it's time for me to leave.
Someone puts this on, I want like Rob Zombie
And
playing.
if someone, I, it depends. If I like walk in and they have this on, I'll stay for the anal leakage scene. The anal leakage
Yeah,
scene,
especially if you know it's coming to the end.
yeah. But that's about it. Other than that, I
Mhm,
can't fucking stand this film. Do not
mhm,
want to watch it again at all.
mhm. And I can't defend it any more than that. Only the fact that I'm like, there's some you got a fun kaiju, I guess, and you got nothing else. Completely nothing else.
And
Fart in the wind.
that is that's Yongary Monster from the Deep. If you've been listening
Yep.
this long, thank you so much. Please like, comment, and share the video around. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Do you have a sign off, Spooge?
Shlu, uh, God damn it. I should have thought one of them before. Who's your favorite kaiju? Put them in below.
Alright.
I don't think we've done that yet.
No, I don't know. And it's actually a hard one for me. I'd have to get back to you on that one.
Gigan.
Mine
Old school
might.
Gigan.
We will have to next week. Mine might be determined.
Yes.
We will have to see. But people will have to wait until next week.
Yes.
This will be a bye bye.
Bye-bye.